So that's all of the game content that I have to share with you. There's one other subject I wanted to briefly touch on before I open it up to questions. And it's been a subject of much speculation among the community for a very long time. So I'm glad that I'm able to finally give you some news on that. And that subject is Cyan. So within the last year, we've been going through some negotiations with Cyan Worlds, and it's safe to say that they are very supportive of us. They like our project a lot, they like us a lot, and they are willing to allow us to continue developing our game, which is very good news because we were somewhat concerned about that from the beginning. And even more than that, they actually offered to share with us the original Riven source files, which is a better outcome than we could have possibly dared to dream about, because that's pretty much the best possible thing you can have access to if you're trying to recreate a game, the original source files for that game. And we figure that even if we can't use those models directly in our game, they'll at least be very, very, very good reference material, and will save us a lot of time trying to find various angles for a specific object when you just have the object that you can look at directly, not to mention the texture files and the sounds and all of that. So it's a very exciting time for our project. I am obviously a huge fanboy of Cyan and Riven, so this is like a dream come true for me. I'm very happy, but and I'm happy that I can finally share that with all of you because people keep asking me about it. Yeah, it's cool. So I don't have my PowerPoint, so I don't remember if there's anything else that I was going to talk about, but I guess I can answer questions now if people have them, and maybe we can get the lights back up too.
See if anybody in the chat
Just the-
has
Show the damn video again. I guess the video wasn't working, maybe?
Oh, it wasn't?
Again.
Maybe they just heard us going, ooh, wow.
Maybe that's why my phone has been ringing. 4 missed calls and 3 texts.
I didn't see the actual game.
It didn't stream properly. So wait, the gameplay didn't. All right, I'll run it in like
Run it
windowed mode. Yeah, I'll run it again.
Unity
I'll show you
issues with
guys, and I guess I can answer questions while I'm doing that. We can multitask here, if people have questions. I'll do it like.
Maybe it won't lag.
Well, I mean, I don't know what resolution we're running at here.
Do
So
1024 by 768.
Okay,
Call
yeah.
it a day.
I'm calling it a day. That's probably too big, actually.
Tough.
The cursor doesn't necessarily work either. Let's see. Minimize that.
You just minimized
I
it.
know, I was trying to open the chat window. Basically missed everything, Zib. Got it, Everett. Alright. So I'll just briefly go over the features that I outlined before. We've got birds in the sky when they fly around again. There's 2 little birds. They're quite nice. There's a starfish. Oh wait, there's another starfish. There might be a 3rd one actually. Oh, yeah, there's one there. It's like finding journey cloths.
You'd think you'd know these things.
Yeah. You click them to unlock an Easter egg.
Make it so it's easy to get it.
What did you do?
This cursor isn't locked. I don't know why.
Unity issues with that.
Yeah, I think they can see it now. You guys can see it now, right?
Hit close.
Close. Well, they're saying it's awesome and nice, so. And then the other main thing was the sky. So we've got moving clouds, we've got a sun that moves very, very fast if you want it to. We've got cloudy days.
Look how the sun seems bigger when it's cloudy.
Yeah, it diffuses through the clouds. It's very nice. You can just barely, you can't see it because the lights are on, but you can just barely see the stars through the clouds. For, I'm gonna geek out, but it's like the scene in Lord of the Rings where they're in Mordor and they look up and they see the one star through the cloud. I'm just like, yeah. And I guess I'll just go up. I'll go up into the prison so we can give the streamers. Yeah. How's it doing? Crisis has nothing on this.
Yeah, funny that.
It's hilarious. Crisis might have something on this.
Much bigger budget.
All right, yeah, so...
Is that all real-time lighting?
Yeah, it's all real-time lighting. So does anyone have any questions? Yes?
Day-night cycle, are you going to tie it to computer clock? Are you going to set the game a cycle so that once you start it goes? Is it going to be perfect 24-hour sync with Earth, or?
Well, our thoughts on that last time we discussed it, which was admittedly a while ago, were that we would give the user the option to sync it to their own computer if they want, or to use the built-in day-night cycle if they want, and possibly have the ability to adjust that cycle a little bit if you feel like it's too fast or too slow. Like, I always felt like the Real Mist cycle was way too fast, but maybe some people liked it, so. Yeah, we want to give the users a lot of options while still maintaining a realistic time span for the development of the game. So we'll see. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
Are you going to give users fly mode?
There are currently no plans to give users fly mode. We don't even have fly mode for ourselves for testing, but maybe, I don't know. It certainly probably wouldn't be like a obvious just enable fly mode checkbox, but maybe you could enable it some way. I don't know.
After you've won the game, right?
Yeah, once you've beaten the game, you can play it in mirror mode or something and fly around. I don't know.
That's true. Part of an Easter egg.
Yeah, something like that.
Your mirror's having issues.
Yeah, the mirror's having issues.
Get your reflection buffer.
And I can't really, there we go. I'll go back down. Yes? We'll have a left-hand cursor, sure. Last time we talked about it, we wanted to have, we wanted to make it so that you could play with the original Ribbon cursor, the Real Mist cursor, or the Blue cursor. We had talked about the Revelation cursor, but I think that's probably a whole lot more work that we don't really want to put that in just for the novelty of having a little free cursor. So we'll see. But a left-hand cursor wouldn't be difficult to implement.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing in the chat.
Yes.
Yes. Well, our plan is to have avatars similar to how End of Ages does it, but perhaps a little less creepy with the weird video textures for the faces. But someone was saying my name. Oh yeah, the Boiler Island video. Yeah, let's watch that.
Simply necessary.
Let's see here. Just have to play the video again for these guys because they didn't see it.
That's fine.
Not full screen,
Don't
maybe.
full screen it.
So again, this is done with camera matching, and we have we're also working on Jungle Island using the same techniques, but it's not nearly at the same stage of completion, so I can't show you it yet.
Have you worked on any of the building interior?
The interior, the whole cave thing with the tunnel going back, that I think is done. There's some of the interior of the boiler. We had the whole lab finished at one point, but I think we want to redo it for quality assurance. Yeah. That's enough of that. drastic. Are there any other questions in here? No. Are there any other questions from real people? Hello, Alessandra.
Will the users be confined to the original slideshow path, or would it be possible to go places that weren't necessarily?
We're currently discussing how much more you'll be able to explore rhymes, but generally speaking, you'll probably be confined to the same areas, but in places where there's no reason why you couldn't wander off somewhere else, I think we'll probably allow you to do that. Like, for example, I guess there, like the clearing area where you get into the cart on Jungle Island, there's like a Y-shaped path, so we wouldn't like constrain you to that path. You could wander between the paths and that sort of thing, but like in the jungle itself, you probably couldn't wander off the path in between the trees. That's probably the distinction we'd make. And like, we're not gonna let you like wander off a cliff and plummet to your death. Like, that's probably not gonna be something we're having in the game. But maybe, I don't know.
You can't fall over like the poured shell.
Basically, it's a debate between wanting, like, you know, obviously we're super big fans of Riven, so we want to go explore all these places, but at the same time, we don't want to confuse the gameplay too much. Because if you can wander everywhere, then you're going to be inclined to wander everywhere and not be directed towards puzzles. So people playing the game for the gameplay might be a little confused by that. So we might have a checkbox or something that lets you wander elsewhere, perhaps. Although the plan right now is to not add anything too drastic. Like, you know, you might not be able to go outside of the lab on 233. Like, that sort of thing probably wouldn't stray that far. But wandering off in paths, perhaps.
There's 3 questions.
3 questions.
The first one is kind of.
So is this using Direct 3D 9, OpenGL, etc.? So right now we're running in Unity, and Unity will build to Windows or Mac OS 10, eventually Linux, and it uses Direct 3D on Windows and OpenGL on Mac, and it makes everything look the same. So we don't have to worry about that, which is nice. And I think it'll use DirectX 10 11 on Windows, right? Or
It uses DirectX 9
DirectX
right now.
9.
Unity 4. is
eventually
DirectX
it'll use
11,
DirectX
yeah.
10 11, whatever. You mentioned you're planning, it's going too fast. You mentioned you're planning on using character models for the NPCs, just higher quality than those you see in End of Ages. Have you guys started the concept high-res models for those yet, or is it just in the planning stages? We do have screenshots posted of those things on our website, starryexpanse.com, but they're somewhat old versions of the avatars, and they're probably going to be redone before being put into the game. So if you go there and you look at them and you're like, ugh, that's probably because they're old and not finished. Would you say that you are progressing faster now than ever before? Yes, I think we're always moving faster and faster. And with the cyan stuff, we have the potential to move a whole lot faster because the modeling stage should be sped up by a lot with the addition of cyan's original assets that we can use. I'm not going to put a percentage on our progress, though. It's still going to take a long time. All right. Any other questions?
Are you going to include any Easter eggs at some point?
We'll probably have Easter eggs. Yes?
How much of 233 is done? Because I remember some screenshots of
Right. So
some of that.
there's some areas that we're not sharing with the public until they're totally done, but okay. But 233, all of the camera matching is done for it. The final assets haven't been fully created yet, but we have placements for everything and sizes and general shapes. So we essentially have very low poly, not optimized models for all of 233 done. It's actually the age that we used for developing the camera matching technique. So we have it, but it's not finalized yet at all. I think same goes for Tay, but I'm not sure about that.
I'm sorry, have you discussed with Cyan about, like, is this going to be for sale on
We haven't discussed it with Cyan yet, that aspect of it. And we don't, I guess we don't really have anything to announce on that front yet, is the safest way to say it. Yeah. Is there... well, last interview with Rand, the question, sorry, you guys can't see it. The question is, what about that interview with Rand where he said that they might make Real Riven? And I think that that interview was pretty recent, and Rand is aware of us and the deal that Cyan has with us. So I think his actual response was that they want to, but they can't do it. That's what I think the official position on Cyan doing Real Riven is, and rather they're going to have us do it. Because I don't think they would tell us to go ahead and do it if they were also going to do it.
Cheap labor.
Exactly. We'll work for free.
Well, you guys are probably, because you're doing such an awesome job as it is, and you're probably like,
That's what I'd like to think.
Yeah.
But and then there's a question, is the classic point-and-click movement implemented yet? And yeah, basically it is. It's not in this build, but we have a mode that's basically a lot like playing Exile, where you can look anywhere and then you can click and it'll just move you over to where you click. We thought about implementing a mode that's like Riven with stationary cameras, but we kind of figure if you want to play that, just play Riven, I guess. It's because that's not that different. But yeah, we're definitely going to have the Exile style navigation as well as Uru style navigation. Are there more? Nothing more in there. Anyone else? Yes?
Are there going to be extra features that, like things that you threw in that weren't in the game, or things that were taken out of the final Riven?
Well, I mean, the animals and that sort of thing. A lot of the things that we discuss on our team are like Riven originally didn't have that many animals in it. Now, is that because Cyan didn't want that many animals in it, or is it because Cyan couldn't have that many animals in it? Like, those sorts of questions come up a lot. So our answer for that is that they couldn't put many animals in it, so we want to put more in. At the same time, we also thought about, well, Riven is a dying age, so there's probably all these species going extinct, so there probably aren't that many animals running around anymore. So we're only adding some animals. We're not going to have every single animal you see in the tail linking room. It's just going to be some.
the main ones like the Sunners.
Right, the Sunners will be there, the Warks will be there, the little frog guys will be there. By the way, does anyone know how to pronounce the name of the frog? Yitram? Okay, I wasn't sure. But so that's just an example of, Cyan's original intent, essentially. And I guess now we can ask them, which is nice, but yeah. But as for things like the book press on Boiler Island, I don't really know yet. I don't think that we would just put it in if it wasn't in the original, but we would consider something like that, like as an Easter egg or something like that, We don't want to modify the gameplay too much, and we don't want to change the story. So we wouldn't add anything in that would confuse the player in those respects.
What about the Easter egg of Gen singing opera?
I would certainly like to have that in there. I think that's cool enough that we should have it in there. But,
Just put the original file in.
Little TV in the corner.
So question, will there be an actual blog post regarding permission from Cyan? Yes, there will be. We're going to be posting a couple more things on our blog within the upcoming days. There's a new post going up on our dev blog, which is at starryexpanse.com/dev, about how we did the sky. And we plan on posting more things on our blog. We always plan on posting more things on our blog, and we don't. And we have a Twitter now, or we did, but we're using it more, which is at Starry_Expanse, if you want to follow us.
At what?
Starry_Expanse on Twitter. Yeah, Starry Expanse is taken to someone else. I don't know what. Will we be able to see into that one Rivenese house? So knocking on the door 5 times, and the thing opens and you can see the person. Yeah, we'll have that in there. I don't think you'll be able to go into the house, because that would be kind of weird, but...
That would be so cool.
Like some tea.
Have a nice little posh setup.
Yeah. Anything else?
That was a really nice presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that the whole thing didn't work on my computer, and I now have to go figure out what's wrong with my computer because it's not booting. But yeah, I'm glad I got it to work. So if there's any other questions, you can come up and ask me later, I guess. If Kenneth is okay with it, you can play the game that we have so far on his computer. Oh, what's the graphic hardware of the demo PC? I don't know. This computer is very nice. It runs the game nicely.
Beefy and professional.
It's beefy and professional. I have a MacBook Pro, like a year old, and it runs it. It runs it pretty well, but not as nicely as this computer. Obviously, if you have a gaming computer, it'll run it better than if you have a MacBook. But it should work
How big
on both.
are you gonna do it resolution-wise? I mean, you know, how the original one is pretty.
I mean,
pretty
well,
restricted.
because it's real time, it's able to run at any resolution that your monitor supports. So you can run it full screen and it'll run at native resolution for your computer, or you can run it at 1024 by 768.
Totally stretched.
I mean, I think it depends entirely on the hardware on your computer, actually. Like on here, we were just running it at 1024 by 768, and it was running in a window and it was fine. But you can also make it full screen and it'll just scale it up. And
Okay.
question, I'm not going to answer that. It's not a real question.
Uh-oh.
Because Uru gets messed up when you make it widescreen.
Well, I mean, Unity supports widescreen much better than Uru does. So whatever Unity can run, we can run, like that sort of thing. Yeah. Is there anything the fans can do to help with the game outside of giving money? Well, we love when you give us money. That helps a lot. But well, I guess we could use programmers. That would be nice. Programmers are good. And send me an email. Send me an email and tell me how you'd like to help, and we'll see if we can work you in somehow. That's just zib@starryexpanse.com if you want to drop me a line, and I'll see if I can get you to help somehow.
Make cookies for you guys.
Yeah, mail us cookies. There you go.
Coffee.
There you go.
Are you going to have Rivenees? Huh? Oh, apparently the new dev blog post just went up, so it explains all about how the sky works. But I'm not going to bother clicking it. They can look at it later.
Intel graphics.
Intel graphics. I don't really know. I don't know what the minimum specs for this game are. That's pretty much what the point of the beta test is going to be, so we can get a lot of people playing it on their computers and telling us, hey, it doesn't work on this, and we'll be like, sucks to be you. And then hopefully help you figure out how to make it work. But yeah, so we don't really know yet. You can look at the Unity website and see what their minimum specs are for running Unity, and that'll probably be pretty much the same. I'd like to say that anything that can run Uru can run it in some way, but I don't know if that's actually true, because Uru is pretty old.
Is that something that can be done, that Unity engine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that can be done on like an Android?
Yeah, so Unity has the ability to build to Windows, Mac, and Linux built into it, but then it can also do Chrome native builds. It can build to Flash now, and then it can also do PS3, Xbox, Android, iOS, Wii sort of. But all of those ones require separate licenses, which are extra money, and then also a lot of extra development to make it actually work on. But Unity is the same thing that Cyan has been using for their most recent games, including Real Mist for the iPad, and all of their other little bug checkers, Stone Chip. I think that all those things are made in Unity as well. So it does work for iOS. And it should be, once you have the game written for iOS, it should be very easy to then port it to Android, but they don't seem to want to do that. So, yeah. All right. Any other questions?
No.
Any other questions on the channel?
No, that's not a question.
That is not.
Those are not questions.
That's not a question either.
The 3DS Vita and Wii U are not yet supported by Unity, so we can't even think about supporting them.
I just want to get the game done first. The main
Yeah.
part.
Just
All right.
cut this off now before they ask
I
another
think we're
question.
pretty much done here.
Okay.
But